I'm a 28-year-old guy from a vibrant city in Africa, and let me take you back to a chapter of my life that taught me more about love, loyalty, and resilience than I ever expected. 2 years ago, when I was 26, I was in a good place, young, ambitious, and full of dreams. I was working as a sales representative for a pharmaceutical company, traveling between bustling markets and quiet clinics, pitching products with a smile. One sunny afternoon, while picking up a prescription at a local pharmacy, I met her, a nurse with a warm laugh and eyes that seemed to hold a world of kindness. Her name was Delilah, and from the moment we started talking, it felt like we'd known each other forever. We clicked over shared stories of growing up in our city, our love for spicy street food, and our dreams of making a difference. Before long, we were dating, and I was convinced she was someone special, a woman I could build a future with. Our relationship moved fast, maybe too fast. We'd spend evenings strolling through the city's lively streets, dodging vendors and laughing under the glow of streetlights. I'd tell her about my plans to further my education, maybe even get a master's degree someday, and she'd share stories of her long shifts at the hospital, her voice full of passion for helping people. It felt like we were building something real, something lasting. In May 2023, my job threw me a curveball. My supervisor reassigned me to a new district, a smaller, dustier town a few hours away. It wasn't ideal, but Delilah didn't hesitate. She packed up her life and moved with me, saying she wanted to be by my side. Looking back, I realized we jumped into living together way too soon, barely a few months into dating. At the time, though, it felt like the natural next step. Those first 3 months in the new town were like a dream. We'd cook together in our tiny apartment, dance to Afrobeats on the radio, and talk about our future late into the night. I thought we were unstoppable. Then life started unraveling. My country manager, a guy who always seemed to have it out for me, began treating me like I was invisible. Meetings became tense, and then, without warning, my weekly allowance, the money I relied on to cover rent, food, and everything else, stopped coming through. I was scrambling, dipping into savings just to keep us afloat. On top of that, I was applying for a master's program in model-informed drug development, a field I was passionate about that could open new doors. The stress was relentless, late nights filling out applications, worrying about bills, and trying to keep my career from crumbling. I thought Delilah would understand. I thought she'd see I was fighting to get us through this rough patch. But as my income dwindled, I noticed a shift in her. The woman who once greeted me with a smile now seemed distant. Small disagreements turned into full-blown arguments over nothing, burnt food, a forgotten chore, or my late nights working on applications. I tried to stay patient, to keep the peace, but it felt like I was walking on eggshells. Things got worse when I had to travel back to my original city for job interviews, hoping to land something stable to replace the mess I was in. While I was gone, Delilah's behavior turned downright strange. She started bringing me food when I returned, elaborate dishes like jollof rice and chicken stew, which wasn't like her. She'd never been one to cook much before, so it caught me off guard. She also started talking about quitting her nursing job and moving back to her hometown, which confused me. Why now? Then came the news that flipped my world upside down. One evening, she sat me down and said she'd taken a pregnancy test. It was positive. For a moment, I was overjoyed, imagining us as a little family, despite the chaos. But something nagged at me. Her coldness, the arguments, the sudden shift in her behavior. It didn't add up. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I texted her one night, asking directly about the baby's paternity, hoping to ease my mind. Her response was vague, dodging the question entirely, and my heart sank. That's when the doubts really set in. When I got back from the interviews, exhausted but hopeful about a new job, Delilah was waiting for me. She looked nervous, her usual confidence gone. That's when she confessed she cheated on me. The words hit like a punch to the gut. I'd poured my heart into this relationship, moved to a new town with her, and now this. The betrayal stung deeper because of the stereotypes I'd heard about nurses, whispers about their loyalty that I'd brushed off as unfair. But here I was, living the reality. I knew I couldn't stay, When I found out Delilah had cheated on me, I was livid, my heart pounding with a mix of anger and betrayal. Part of me wanted to walk away right then and there, pack my bags, and never look back. But I'm pro-life, and with a baby on the way, I couldn't bear the thought of her possibly ending the pregnancy. So, despite the pain gnawing at me, I chose to stay supportive until the child was born. Those months were brutal. My heart felt heavy, like it was carrying a weight I couldn't shake. I'd already started my master's program in model-informed drug development, but focusing was nearly impossible. I managed to scrape through only 3 out of 5 courses that semester, my mind constantly tangled in depression and uncertainty about what to do next. Not knowing whether the baby was mine was the worst part, like living in a fog where every step felt unsteady. I wanted answers, a clear yes or no, but I had to wait until the birth to find out for sure. In those dark months, I stumbled across the MGDOW philosophy online, and it was like a light bulb went off. Channels like Thinking Ape opened my eyes to the idea that I didn't need to put a woman at the center of my life. Growing up in a culture where men are often taught to prioritize their partners, that mindset was hard to unlearn. People around me didn't always get it. Some thought I was being selfish or cold, but I started to see my own worth. I realized I'm a high-value guy, and I didn't need to chase someone who didn't value me back. Instead, I poured my energy into myself. I hit the gym, lifting weights to build not just my body but my confidence, feeling stronger with every session. I threw myself into my research in pharmacometrics, diving deep into my studies and career goals. It felt good to take care of me first, to focus on my purpose and let everything else fall into place. When my daughter was born, I didn't waste time. I got a DNA test done. The relief when it confirmed she was mine was indescribable. I was thrilled to be a dad, even if the circumstances weren't what I dreamed of. But that joy didn't change how I felt about Delilah. I cut off all personal communication with her, telling her to reach out only by email about our daughter. She didn't take it well, lashing out, accusing me of being heartless, and saying I didn't care about her despite her giving me a child. But why would I? She turned cold when my job fell apart, started fights when I was struggling, and then betrayed me. I wasn't about to pretend things could go back to normal. As I focused on my studies, my hard work started paying off. Prominent research institutions in my country noticed my work and invited me to speak at their conferences. My older brother even started spreading the word about my achievements, printing flyers to share my success. Meanwhile, Delilah reached out to my friends, saying she regretted her mistakes and had been working on herself, claiming she'd do anything to fix our relationship. But I wasn't buying it. Her sudden interest came just as I was rising, accepted into a PhD program, gaining recognition, and building a life I'm proud of. If I'd still been struggling, I doubt she'd have cared. I love my daughter and want to be there for her, but I have no interest in reconnecting with her mother. I'm moving forward, focusing on my goals, and living life on my terms. Amid all this, I met someone new, a young woman who's studying for her Bachelor of Science in Medicine and Surgery. Her name's Kanika, and she's different. She genuinely cares about me, even going out of her way to buy books she knows I love to read. It's the little things like that make me feel valued. But I'll be honest, I'm a bit guarded after everything with Delilah. I'm hesitant to dive headfirst into another relationship, especially since Kanika is also in the medical field, and I can't help but think about what happened last time. When my job fell apart, Delilah showed her true colors, pulling away when I needed support the most. I wonder if Kanika would stick by me if things got tough again, if I lost my job or hit a rough patch. Right now, she sees me as a guy on the rise, chasing a PhD, and I know that's part of the appeal. Professionals often gravitate toward each other, and that's fine, but I can't help but ask myself, would she still be this kind and supportive if I was still stuck in the same dead-end job I had before? Delilah's resentment is clear. She knows she lost something valuable when she betrayed me. She sees me thriving, getting recognition from research institutions, speaking at conferences, and building a life I'm proud of. Meanwhile, I'm keeping my focus on what matters, my daughter, my career, and my growth. I love my little girl and want to be there for her, but I have no interest in rekindling anything with her mother. I'm young, I've got big plans, and I'm not settling for less than I deserve. If Kanika's the real deal, time will tell, but I'm keeping my eyes open and my priorities straight, making sure I always put myself first.